Well, good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome, whoever, wherever, whenever you are, wherever you're here, however you got here, whatever you're doing. Thank you for showing up. Hope you stay a while. I'm Denise Matteau, and as you can see, I'm going through this annual flu thing, but it's all nasal, so I'm not worried about it. Anyway, I was inspired, as I've said in some other videos, by Everyday Sewist into doing the daily Ninepatch. Okay, that kind of stopped while I laid in bed, but now that I'm up and about, I'm back at it. However, I have changed the daily Ninepatch into something somebody else might know about this and have something else for it, but it's an offset Ninepatch, which becomes a Diamondback Jellyroll. I'm talking about this. This can be incorporated into your quilt. I'm making a row quilt, but you can also use this obviously in borders. And the way it's done is you take 3 strips, one of your diamond color and 2 background colors. There's a couple different ways to do this. There's a little bit of waste involved with my way if you're not a crumb quilter. But if you're a crumb quilter, you're not going to worry about it because you're going to use the crumbs. And the waste I'm talking about, of course, is if you want to make a straight-sided jelly roll, you will be cutting off some triangles. Or, in this case, I'm using such a lightweight, loosely woven fabric that I might just fold them back and let it be a double weight in the quilt. So you can do what you want. It's a good way to use up if you've got thrift shop fabrics where you're, deconstructing shirts from thrift shops and stuff. You might end up with some thin cottons. You could use them that way. But the beautiful thing about this is all you do is you take your 3-patch, which normally you would sew a bunch together to 9-patch. Well, you just simply offset it, like so. And it ends up on point. And doing this now these I probably will do, well, to count it as a daily 9-patch, I have to do at least 3 a day, right? Over the course of time, you end up with this jelly roll that can be incorporated into scrappy quilts or a design or just kept to use as border. It's just a great thing to do. And so this is how I do it if I can. Oh, do I need to thread a needle? Probably. Yeah, I do. So I'm going to end up having a needle in my scrambled eggs one of these days. But let me pause for a second while I thread that needle. Okay. Now, I do this by hand, but you can easily do this, and probably quite quickly, by machine. And basically, I have it pinned in the offset position, seams nicely nested. And then the way I do my hand piecing, I start, can you see this? I can do it this way. Japanese style, no knots. You can use a knot if you want. But this is just what I've learned from watching all the Japanese sashiko stitchers. I pull it almost through, pinch down to the end, and basically 2 stitches back from the direction you're going to move in, and then you pull up your your anchoring stitch, the direction I'm going to move in. Now I can take the pin out. Whoops. Take the pin out. If I look a little clumsy, it's because I am. I actually have about 40% sensitivity in my fine motor nerves. And it's my own fault, because when I was doing my freelance art days way back when, I was doing some automotive painting horses on the sides of pickup trucks. And that was back in the early 80s, somewhere in there. No, late 80s. Anyway, you need to wear heavy-duty masking protective gear with that stuff, and I didn't. And so and also I worked with a lot of acetone solvents when I was in silkscreen printing. So I got exposed to all those solvents. The doctors thought I had muscular sclerosis. Did all the testing, and then discovered, well, I talked to them about what I did, and they said, oh my goodness, you've been breathing that stuff every day. If you could smell it, it's in your lungs. It's in your system. And what it does, the solvents do, is they actually dissolve the myelin sheathing around your nerves. So the doctors got me to stop what I was doing, arrested the problem where it was, and a little bit, I did recover some through a lot of health, diet type of stuff. But you never fully recover from something like that. So be aware and use the safety. Even if you're in your home studio or you're working out in your backyard, use safety gear. But anyway, this here, can you see right there? Let me fix it. Yeah, okay. Just rocking the stitches through. Now bear in mind, I wasn't sewing while I was talking, so this really does go a lot faster when you just have something, got something nice to listen to and sit and enjoy the day. But running stitch through, and then what I like to do when you fold the seam over like so, ouch, this is a very sharp needle, wow, okay, fold the seam into the dark, of course, as we know, and can you see it? What I like to do is just a little back stitch. Oh, I'm not able to get it on camera, am I? There. There. A little back stitch. And what this gives you is that little back stitching. You can do it in the same color as the fabric. I just wanted you to be able to see it. And that's that actually is the strongest seam you can sew. Some people call it an invisible baste. But to me, it's not basting, because basting is a loose stitch. You're going to pull the thread out. This you leave in, and it's a tight little stitch. And it does give you a nice finish. If you use matching thread, it will be truly invisible. And then if you're doing some slow stitch borrow embroidery or something like that, you can come back over it later. But throw this together instead of the regular daily Ninepatch. Do a daily Diamondback. Do some daily Diamondback work. And You'd be surprised when you're not trying to hold it up in front of a camera, it goes really quickly. There. But, ouch. Now I'm using these as across a row quilt between the rows of the other blocks. But I could see just getting in the habit of like I'm going to be doing some colors that are the same color wave. I like to do my color waves by season, like I'm working on an autumn quilt. Well, this would go as a border on an autumn toned quilt. But you can do it all kinds of things and just have a collection of these Diamondback jelly rolls out in the length of your typical project, because you know what you like to work on. If you like to work on small quilts, big, giant, king-size quilts, whatever, you know your typical length. So you just build up a collection of these, and anytime you're trying to decide how to finish a quilt, you've got something waiting for you. So there it is, your daily Ninepatch, the offset Ninepatch, or the Diamondback Jellyroll. So, quit your bitching and keep on stitching. Denise Matteau, over and out.